What's up everyone, my name is Michael and welcome to Boxmining Daily. So today we're going to have a market recap first of all, and we have Bitcoin hitting 7,500 again. We're going to talk a little bit about Segwit 2x in relation to that and everything overall in the market recap. Next up, we have a public service announcement. There are two hacks right now in the cryptocurrency realm that is causing havoc. One is called CryptoShuffle and the other is a fake app pretending to be Poloniex. So I'm going to cover both of these as a PSA announcement. Then we have Ethereum front. The Devcon conference has just ended, so I'm going to do a little recap on that, followed by the Tezos. So Tezos lawsuit is officially in action and people are not happy. So I do want to say that things covered here are my personal opinion and not financial advice. So let's start off with the market. So Bitcoin is at 7,500 again. Wow, Bitcoin is really taking a roll here. It dropped a little bit over the past few days, but now it's back up at its all-time high. If you look at the price growth chart of Bitcoin, it's utterly insane. It's literally one straight line up recently. It's just going on fire. And of course, in terms of trade volume, Korea, Japan, they're competing for second place right now. Top number one is Bitfinex, but Bitfinex is global. So we have two regional exchanges very fast on their tail with huge trade volumes, 150 million for Japan and Bitflyer and 163 on Bithumb. So millions of dollars being traded hundreds of millions of dollars being traded every day. So it seems like Bitcoin is rallying. There are two possible reasons for this. One are new users coming in. We do see an influx of new users, so especially with this crazy growth. It's driving up user installs on Coinbase. It's driving up viewership on these cryptocurrency channels. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason, of course, is Segwit 2x. So it's coming soon. It's in 10 days according to this timer right here. So what's going to happen is that you're going to get a 1-to-1 ratio of both the no 2x coin and the 2x coin when Bitcoin splits. So that's probably a reason why everyone's jumping on the Bitcoin wagon right now. Even though there's a civil war, even though there's infighting, even though people can't decide which Bitcoin to get, why not both, says Bitcoin users, and that's why everyone's flocking to Bitcoin so they can get both when the fork happens. I want to do a little bit of coverage on what's going to happen with the fork and how to get both your 2x coin and non-2x coin. That's what I'm going to call it for now until we get a formal name for it. But that's what's going to happen right now. Things seems to be going back to the Bitcoin front. We have market cap at around, so the whole cryptocurrency market cap around $200 billion, $201 billion to be exact, and Bitcoin dominance at its like a really high point of 62.5%. So it does seem like the altcoins are dropping a bit. You do see a little bit of red over here, and that's possibly because people are flocking for the Segwit 2x timer. It is possible that with Segwit 2x, both camps want to be called Bitcoin, and it might be possible that the camps will just either hold their cryptocurrencies, both sides, and maybe even potentially buy a lot. So we might see, two coins both of very high value at the end. This is why people are maybe flocking to Bitcoin. We've seen comments that they might flock back to the altcoins after this fork is over. So basically at the time of the fork, no matter how much crypto Bitcoin you have, it's going to split into two. That's the thing. So it just matters at when the fork happens. So anyways, going on with the other cryptocurrencies, we see Bitcoin cash dropping a little bit after its crazy rally over the past week. It's still at a very high point though, so $584. That's quite a lot. We have Ethereum at a very stable, rock steady at around 300. We've seen that over the couple of few days. It's sustained quite steady at this point. In terms of other cryptocurrencies, we see more or less dropping a little bit, but we do see some cryptocurrencies having double-digit growths, like PIVX. Today we're seeing double-digit growths. Today we also saw, I think, Singularity TV, Singularity DTV having a 18% increase. Bitcore 25. So there are some cryptocurrencies that are increasing in value. It's possible that altcoins are coming back a bit over time as this kind of Bitcoin rally is kind of maybe potentially hitting its all-time peak right now. So we still have yet to see what's going to happen right now. You do see the graph tapering off a little bit, but of course Segwit 2x, guys, this is the thing to watch out for. This is really important. Do check out my video about explaining what this is, and then I'm going to talk about what's going to happen at the fork and how to keep your crypto safe. So one thing that is happening though is maybe potentially because people are moving cryptocurrencies around, there is this new Trojan virus that's trying to steal your funds. See, the way way this thing called CryptoShuffle, this is what Kaspersky Labs called it, it attacks your memory. So we know when we send cryptocurrencies, we usually copy and paste. I mean, that's the usual behavior. You're not gonna type a long address down by hand and do that, tap it away. You're gonna copy and paste. So what this virus does is that it attacks your memory. So when you copy and you paste, you get a different address. So kind of like if you want to send it to a friend or you're sending it to your exchange, you copy that address, it goes in the computer's memory, and then when you spit it out, when you paste, it's going to be another address, the hacker's address. So you're going to it's going to cause you to accidentally send crypto to your hacker. So the best way to prevent this is obviously to have a clean computer. But another way, of course, is to make sure you send it to the right person, is to just double check. If you have if a Ledger Nano S, double check the address that shows up on screen when you send it. That's one of the best ways of doing it, because now you check it on 2 devices. Another way is, of course, when they send your email. Sometimes when you send crypto on Bitcoin, they send your email or there's a confirmation page. Just make sure every single letter there corresponds to the address that you want to send it to. Just make sure, double check that this is true. And if you do find a discrepancy, that means you have a virus and you want to reinstall the computer immediately, because that is compromised and we don't know what else it can do. So this attack is kind of devastating if you guys are not awake, if you guys don't double check the addresses. So make sure you do that as well. There's another public service announcement for the fake Poloniex apps. So fake apps getting on the Google App Stores. This is going to be something that's going to be very big now, especially as crypto grows. There's more and more money being thrown into crypto, more money, people sending crypto, and as a result, people want to steal that money. So there's these fake apps called, Poloniex or whatnot. They just steal your password. So make sure you get your 2-factor authentication down, and make sure when you download an app, make sure that's the real one, because there's a possibility that even with a fancy icon, that this is a fake app. It's quite easy to get an app on the Google Play Store. There's no verification process, or there's very little verification process, and this is unlike the Apple Store. So do just make sure that you don't get the fake one. And with cryptocurrency transactions, both of these they rely on one thing, which is cryptocurrency transactions cannot be reversed. So if you accidentally get your funds stolen, well, they're gone. You can't do anything about it. And that's the one scary thing about crypto, and that's why you must double check. And if you're sending a large amount, send a small amount to verify first, to the person to say, hey, just check if this is going to go through well, and then send the real sum. Just some standard tips to keep your stuff safe. All right, next up, we have Ethereum. So Ethereum just finished the conference Devcon 3, and Devcon 3 is a major gathering where people talk about the future of Ethereum and how they're going to improve things. One of the things that Vitalik did address is Ethereum's efficiency. We've seen that this year, where when ICO runs, the Ethereum network gets clogged up and it's so hard to send any transactions. And there's other issues on that as well. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to improve the efficiency of Ethereum. There's multiple ways to scale. We did see things like plasma, there's sharding, there's various mechanisms that can improve the Ethereum network. So Vitalik did address that. So he talked about sharding and kind of having nodes that have partial access to the full database. It's one of the ways to kind of deal with the fact that the Ethereum blockchain is so huge. So there's definitely things in the works, but I do have to say, of course, with Ethereum development, everything takes a long time. And this is the thing of overall crypto development as well. You don't want to make a mistake. It's very easy to make that code, but to make that code safe and usable, that takes the longest amount of time. So that's why we only see things after 2 or 3 years. And this is all in the making. So it's very exciting. It's one of the conferences I should have attended, but there's always next year. And I'll try to show you guys what's happening in Devcon for next year. Next up, we have the Tezos lawsuit. So it's been filed against Tezos and against the Tezos Foundation, and it's been filed for fraud in the offer of sale securities, fraud and false advertising, unfair competition. So there's a lot of things that are filed in this complaint against Tezos, and this is one of the reasons why it's going crazy after an ICO, because there's so much money involved. Everyone wants to have control over things, and that is why there's so much dispute happening. It's just, if Tezos only raised a few $100,000, I don't think this would have happened, but because they raised hundreds of millions of dollars, this is gonna go crazy. So it does seem like right now Tezos Tezos is in a little bit of a pickle because of this infighting, people trying to fight for control, and of course complaining to each other. There's also more investors that are potentially going to file lawsuits in the future as well. So these are the things in the works right now on Tezos land. So not everything is clear on Tezos land, but hopefully they can get a testnet up soon and show us some real development work on Tezos. Guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. I would love to hear what your take on the 2x situation. Are you guys all gathering up to go into 2x and then potentially going back to altcoins later? I'd love to hear what you guys think about this current situation and the crazy rally of Bitcoin that's continuing forward and pushing the boundaries to 7,500 and maybe even beyond that. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Remember to click that subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified of new episodes. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.